Hi everybody, Dave Altavilla for HotHardware.com here with the Nokia Lumia 920. This is Nokia's all-new flagship Windows Phone 8 smartphone. Comes to AT&T's LTE 4G network for $99 on contract, $449 MSRP. And it is a 4.5-inch device, 4.5-inch multi-touch IPS display with a native resolution of 1280 by 768 and 600 nits of brightness, strapped with Corning Gorilla Glass. It is a large device, weighs in at 185 grams, about 6.5 ounces, and 10.7 millimeters thick. It is a chunky little fella, to be sure, compared to devices like the Samsung Galaxy S3 at 8.6 millimeters thick versus, again, 10.7 for the Lumia, and 133 grams or 4.7 ounces for a Samsung Galaxy S3, and 6.5 ounces again for the Lumia 920. So a little bit on the hefty side and definitely thick and chunky. Has a nice rounded sort of back contour to it, and this is the cyan blue color, which we quite like. Very nice flat matte finish in cyan blue. The device is powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 dual-core processor at 1.5 gigahertz, has 1 gig of onboard RAM and 32 gig of onboard storage, with 7 gig of additional cloud storage on Microsoft SkyDrive. The other big feature for this device is its 8.7 megapixel high definition camera with Carl Zeiss Tessar lens optics and an LED flash, and it also has 4x digital zoom and built-in image stabilization. There's the camera right there. One of the nicest cameras we've seen on a smartphone to date. Takes excellent video footage, high definition 1080p or 720p video, and really just solid performance from a smartphone camera, which you know, you have to certainly set your expectations accordingly, but one of the best smartphone cameras we've seen performance-wise on the market. Now, taking a quick walk around the Lumia 920, again, we have the cyan blue version of the device, and it has this really nice flat matte finish to it that completely resists fingerprints, at least on the back side of the device. And the material that's used is a very dense plastic, and it really feels solid and well built in the hand with tight tolerances and excellent workmanship all around. Great fit and finish. But we would caution that the phone is definitely a heavier, thicker smartphone than most smartphones in the market these days, most high-end smartphones like the Samsung Galaxy S3 or perhaps the iPhone 5. So if you want something that's really sleek and pocketable, this is definitely on the bulkier side. So you're going to notice that in your pocket. It's just going to have a bigger footprint. On the back is the 8.7 megapixel rear-facing camera, high-definition camera with Carl Zeiss optics and that LED flash. On the bottom is a pair of speaker ports as well as a micro USB port. On this edge of the device, it's completely clean. The top, you've got your SIM loader slot and a headphone jack. And on the right edge, you've got your volume rocker, power button, and camera button. There's actually a camera shutter button, and it also activates the camera app on the phone. And on the front face of the phone, of course, you've got your earpiece, front-facing camera, and then down here are capacitive touch buttons for back, start screen, and search. And we would offer that those buttons do not encroach on screen real estate, which is quite nice for this 4.5-inch display. You do get to utilize all of it. Now, of course, the Nokia Lumia 920 is a Windows Phone 8 device, which is Microsoft's latest operating system for smartphones. As you can see, it's an active tile-based user interface. So the tiles actually animate as things are updated, like data from your social streams, or perhaps as it cycles through content that's on your phone. But you can go ahead and customize the start screen just by clicking and holding, for example, on a tile, and you can contract or expand that tile and then snap it back into place, or you can click and hold and drag that tile up or down and reposition it. And so actually, nice customizable start screen. You can also swipe the start screen out of the way and scroll through your apps from the pick list here as well. Let's go ahead and fire up the web browser. We'll show you performance on that. And as you can see here, we've got the HotHardware website loaded up already, so it's cached, but pinch and zoom and scroll, very responsive. Let's go ahead and hit an article and show you some quick load times. This is over the 802.11 BGN compatible Wi-Fi connection that we're running right now. We don't have the cellular data actually serving the connection. But as you can see, very responsive, good rendering, and good pinch and zoom and control in the web browser. Now, of course, Nokia packs the phone with a bunch of standard apps for basic functionality, as well as you get access to the Microsoft Store, which is still fleshing out, but there's a bunch of stock apps in the phone, obviously, for things like photos and music. Here's a look at the camera app. And again, very high-end camera. The app is fairly straightforward. You can touch the screen to focus and shoot a picture, or you can press the shutter button down here to take a picture as well. But that will also start the application if you're not in it. The app in the interface is kind of basic, and it's deceivingly sort of nested in these menus or all these control settings for things like ISO, exposure level, resolution, and all that good stuff. You have to drill down through a bunch of menus. So fairly basic camera app. It gets the job done, but the camera hardware itself is excellent. The other nice thing that Nokia packed in with the device is Nokia's Maps application, which is really, really top shelf. It's one of the best, I guess, heavily resourced in terms of actual data and map information. One of the best apps around these days, whether it be Windows Phone devices, Android, or iOS. Nokia's Map application is excellent. And the other thing that comes with this device is near-field communication. So in addition to 802.11 wireless and LTE, Nokia does pack NFC in with the device for things like bumping and sharing your content with a neighbor, or for activating different modes of the device by tapping an NFC tile. And this is actually a test tag that they gave us with the device. And you go ahead, and if you bump the phone to that, it will ask you if you want to receive the content that this website is sharing with me. It's actually a code for the Nokia website to demo NFC. And finally, in terms of performance, the dual-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 system on a chip under the hood of the Lumia 920 here at 1.5 gigahertz offers up robust performance for standard compute requirements as well as graphics. Aren't a lot of benchmarks right now for the Windows Phone platform, so unfortunately we couldn't run too many for you here, but we did run Sun Spider, and we pulled up 910 milliseconds to be exact in our results. And that's actually one of the fastest results we've gotten in Sun Spider for any smartphone, iOS, Android, or otherwise. So impressive results. And again, that Snapdragon S4 processor is in a couple of high-end smartphones on the market these days, so not surprising. In terms of battery life, we had no problem getting by on this device for all-day use of mixed mode sort of calls and web browsing all together. So about standard with the average high-end smartphone these days, but make sure you stop by our site for the full review with all the details, including detailed battery life measurements. I'm Dave Altavilla with the Nokia Lumia 920. Thanks for stopping by.